About 20 years ago, researchers at a major university ran a careful, double-blind experiment. They gave healthy volunteers a single controlled dose of a psychedelic, and something remarkable happened. A large share of them reported a full-blown mystical experience, and 2 months later, they rated it as one of the most personally and spiritually significant events of their entire lives. The scientists were stunned. It launched a movement, but it raised a question those researchers never actually asked. The study was small, a few dozen people, in a calm, supportive setting. And it was honest that the experience wasn't all bliss. For some, it brought real anxiety, but the headline was undeniable. Under the right conditions, a chemical could reliably produce what people described as an encounter with the sacred. That finding became the seed of today's psychedelic movement. And notice how it's dressed now. What was once counterculture has been rebranded for the clinic and the wellness retreat. Plant medicine, microdosing, ceremony, sold not as a high, but as therapy, as spirituality, even as a kind of rebirth. And it's no longer fringe. Cities are moving to decriminalize it. Clinics are studying it. Major magazines are celebrating it as the future of mental health. A whole generation is being told this is the safe, scientific path to healing, and even to God. Here's the question the science skipped. If a substance can reliably open a door into what feels like a spiritual realm, the real question was never whether the door is real, it's where the door leads. And there's a brand new book brave enough to ask exactly that. It's called Exposing Portals of Darkness, by Pastor Darren Stott from Destiny Image, and it doesn't bury the topic. Chapter 1 is titled plainly, Pharmakeia Portals. Pharmakeia. It's a New Testament word, the one usually translated sorcery or witchcraft in passages like Galatians and Revelation. And the book's argument is that the word carries the sense of potions and drugs. Its claim is bracing. What's being marketed as a cutting-edge breakthrough is, biblically, one of the oldest practices there is. Sorcery, now wearing a lab coat. It's worth sitting with. In the book of Revelation, the word appears again, a great city that deceives all the nations by its pharmakeia. Now, scholars do debate how much the term points to drugs, specifically versus magic in general. But the book's point stands. Scripture never treats chemically assisted spirituality as neutral. It treats it as a doorway and warns us away from it. And here's the frame the whole book turns on, counterfeit. Stott calls the psychedelic experience a counterfeit rebirth, a counterfeit baptism, a counterfeit Eden. Not because the hunger behind it is fake. The longing for transcendence is real and God-given, but because it's a real door into the wrong room, a shortcut to the feeling of heaven that carefully bypasses the God of heaven. Because that's how the enemy has always worked. He markets a faster way to the very thing your soul is starving for. He offers the encounter without the surrender. He'll call bondage therapy and rebellion self-care and a locked door freedom. Now I need to slow down and be very careful because this is tender ground. The people reaching for this are not fools. Many are in genuine pain, depression that won't lift, trauma that won't quiet, and they're desperate for relief. This is not about shaming them, and it's not a reason to live in fear of every song and screen. So hear this clearly. If you are hurting, please get real help. A doctor, a counselor, people you trust. Wanting to be well is good. The concern the book raises isn't that you want healing. It's the specific spiritual door that a chemically manufactured mysticism opens. This is a warning offered in love, not a lecture and never a how-to. And that's really the book's method, not panic, but discernment. Test every spiritual experience by Scripture and by its fruit. A door that promises light but leaves you bound has already told you exactly what room it opens into. But the book never leaves you at the warning. Its anchor on every page is a person. Jesus said plainly, I am the door. The only legitimate way into the spirit realm, Stott writes, was opened at the cross. And here's the difference that matters most. That door doesn't seduce you. It redeems you. Because there is a real rebirth. There is a real new creation. It doesn't come in a capsule or a ceremony. It comes by the Spirit, through surrender. And unlike an 8-hour session, it doesn't wear off, it holds. That's the promise underneath the whole book. You do not have to alter your brain to touch God. You do not have to gamble on an unknown door to find the sacred. The God who made you for transcendence opened the way himself, and he isn't hiding it behind a substance. At Nori Media Group, here's where we land. The science proved it can manufacture the experience. What it can never do is tell you who is on the other side of the door it opens. There is a real hunger. There is a real spirit realm, and there is a real gate, but only one of them was opened by love at a cross. You were never meant to break in through a counterfeit. You were meant to be welcomed through the true one. Exposing Portals of Darkness by Darren Stott from Destiny Image. You'll find it in our store at Faith and Flame. The link is right below this video. If you've ever walked through a door you didn't fully understand, or you're tempted by one now, this book will give you the language to name it and the prayer to close it. And if you're struggling today, please reach out for real help. Subscribe to Nori Media Group. There is a door. Only one of them was opened by love.